Dobar dan svima, dobrodošli na Digitalnu sinergiju 20. Moje ime je Bojan Buhač i ja ću danas biti moderator Room 3 tracka. Drago mi je što mogu da vas pozdravim sve. Agendu prikazanu na ekranu ste imali prilike da vidite na stranici konferencije i nije bilo nikakvih izmjena. Uz predviđenu satnicu i jednu pauzu od 15 minuta nakon svakog predavanja očekujemo da ova sesija ukupno traje do nekih 17 časova. Imaćemo elokventne govornike, prezentacije će biti na srpskom i engleskom jeziku, a shodno tome i deo današnje komunikacije. Molim vas da slobodno koristite opciju chat prozora za sva pitanja, nejasnoće, komentare koje budete imali tokom sesija, a pitanja ćemo pročitati na kraju. I am announcing first presentation, Azure Custom Vision introduction. Štěpán, please can you share your screen, turn your camera if you can, and we can start. Thank you, Štěpánek.
So, hi everyone. I hope you can see me. I will switch camera off in a few seconds. Just I want to say you hello from Czech Republic, which is my home country, and I live in city of Prague, which is our capital city. And today I will speak about Azure Custom Vision. It will be a really high-level overview how you can use it, and you know what you can achieve this. I have really mixed feelings now because I'm super happy to speak on Synergia. My first Synergia was in Novi Sad, I think 2012. But I'm super sad I can't be in Belgrade now. And you know, next week I need to cook cevaby, pečená paprika, and I need to find some shop here in Prague selling Jelen beer. But hope I will be there next year. So what is the custom vision? First of all, in Azure, you can find a big set of artificial intelligence services. The name is Microsoft Azure Cognitive Services, and there are some big groups. There is the group of AI for vision, for speech, for language understanding, for some decision making based on some conditions, and for search. Today, we will cover just a very, very small part of vision. Because if you look, if you look at it, all those different services are available using the REST API. So the idea here is that you don't need to be a data scientist. You don't need to understand the algorithms for AI. You just want to use it. So you will see it today. We will just create some service, and then there is a REST API available. You just call the REST API, really calling simple URL with the right parameters, or you can use, of course, SDK. So we have an SDK for different languages, .NET, Java, Node.js, Python, and so on. So the idea here is that you don't need to be a data scientist. The idea is that you just want to use those services. So you just create the service in Azure, you configure it, and you can use it. Of course, there can be some, let's say, exceptions. If we speak about the vision, and this is our topic for today. If we speak about the vision, there are services inside the vision, what you can do with the images. So you can detect objects on images. You can detect the brands on the images. You can detect, for example, what is the most significant color on the image. If you, for example, create you have a web shop and you want to have the small pictures of the image, so you can get the big, a high resolution image about the product, but you need to make it smaller. There is a special service inside the vision created the thumbnails. Of course, a big group and the big functionality is about, to detect faces. So, for example, you need to recognize the person. So maybe you can have security system where people look to the camera takes the picture and analyze if the people is allowed to enter the building or not, and so on. So there are many ready-to-use functions, but there are some limitations. So let's look to limitations. So if I open my web browser here and I go to this web page, I share the web page in chat. So I put it into the chat. So if you go to this web page, you can upload your images. I can choose, okay, I want to analyze the image. And let's say I analyze the image. So all the images here are from my mobile phone, from the camera. So I want to analyze this image. Of course, we need to start with the cat. And this is our cat living with us more than 17 years. And you can see it tells me, hey, it's a cat. Cool. It detects an object, a cat. Then it tells me, hey, it's probably indoor with a very high confidence. There is a wall with very high confidence, and so on and so on. And then I get some description here. Unfortunately, the description is only in English, but then you can use some another services to translate it to another language. A cat sitting on the top of wooden door. Okay, the wooden door is this one. So, but still, it's, you know, it gives you a very nice description. But now I choose another image. I choose this one. And now the system is quite confused. It didn't detect any objects. It detects some text, some cartoon, probably the guy here. But, you know, it's say probably there is the food display in a store. It's a nice information because it's a display in the store. But it didn't detect any object. So imagine you are an owner of this Milka brand chocolate, and you want to know what are those single products on the picture. And for this, you need to train the model. So everything which is ready to use in vision is, you know, really generic. So we can detect a couple of thousands of different objects, different, you know, items on the picture, but it's a general. So we cannot detect every single thing you can imagine. So probably for your business, out-of-the-box solution will not work. For your business, you need something really specific for your business. By the way, this is the same in situation when you have, probably you saw it, that someone is speaking and they are running subtitles in the video. And it's easy to create the system that someone is speaking and there is a voice recognition and it is, you know, it converts the speech into the text. But sometimes you can see something is, you know, the conversion to the text is not super good because maybe the person who is speaking is using some technology specific jargon. And again, you need to train the system, you know, to recognize some very specific words used by in some industry. Okay, then the IT industry, it can be the medical, pharma, and so on. Because in every single pharma, in every single industry, we use a very specific vocabulary. We have a very specific jargon. So the idea here is that we provide you the set of the services which you can use out of the box, but in some situations, you need to customize it to your needs. If I go back here to my presentation. So the idea is if we speak, because we are focusing on the vision, we are focusing on images now. The service we are providing you is a custom vision. The custom vision is a service which allows you to take the set of your images and train the model to recognize on the image what you need. The most common way, the common scenarios are, for example, I need to detect my products. I need to detect, for example, defects on my product. Imagine it's a quite common scenario, for example, in automotive industry. So imagine when the engine for the car goes out of the production line, you need to check if everything is on the place. So there are many cameras. Take the picture from different angles, of the engine, and compare it what should be there. So then you can detect, for example, hey, there is a missing nut. For example, oh, there is a missing cable. Before you try to start the engine and you damage it. So there are many scenarios when you need to detect your own objects on the images. There are two ways, if you speak about a custom vision, there are two things what you can do. It's a classification. Classification means that it tells you this picture is the class of this. So for example, if you want to, it will be the example today, you want to tell what the bird species is on the picture, so you can use the classification. So you take a lot of pictures of the blackbirds, you take a lot of pictures of the eagles, you take a lot of pictures of the sparrows, and then the system will be able to recognize the species of the bird. The object detection is a higher level. It detects your object, for example, the bird or your product, and so on, and it tells you where is it on the picture. So the object detection means that you know the position of the object on the picture. So if we speak, for example, about the retail, you will train the system to recognize your product, and if someone takes the picture of the shelf in the store, it tells you what product is there in the shelf. And for example, this information can be very important because if you are selling some goods, you are paying to store the position of your product in the shelf. So all positions in the level of the eye are more expensive than the positions lower or higher. And you want to know that everything is okay, that you are getting what you are paying for example. So how to use the custom vision? First of all, you need to prepare your data. You need to prepare your images. Then you need to create the resources in Azure. And it's very important to understand. You need to create two resources. The one is the resources to train your model. And second resource is for prediction. So this one is for end users, so for application. So this one is like the one you are really using. So it's a production, let's say. Then you create the project, you upload the images, and for every single image, you need to tell the class of the image or the category image or whatever. So it's called tag. And of course, you need to tell, if you are doing the object detection, you need to say the position of the object on image. Then you train it and you test it. And of course, this part, maybe you will repeat many times until you get the results you expect. Then you publish the model, and then you can consume the model. The consume model means you will get the REST API and some keys. You will see it today. Okay, so let's do some demo. Keep it. I can close it, and now let's do some right part. First of all, everything I'm showing to you, you can try by yourself. Later today. And here we go. So I connect to my Azure Cloud Shell. So what I did here before I start this presentation, I just clone this GitHub repo. So I have this couple of examples here. And what I did, I downloaded some images of birds. So for example, if I go here, I go down here. So I download some images. I download some images from Wikipedia. So my goal was to get some real images of the birds for training. So first, what I need to do, I need to create all the resources. So I run this. I run a script, and inside the script, what I'm doing is that I created two resources. The one resource is for training. So one resource is for training, and one is prediction. So this one, the training one, and this one is prediction. And you can see everything is almost the same. Only thing I am telling, hey, it's a custom vision training or custom vision prediction. So when this code is finished, I can go to my Azure subscription. And you see I have the resource group, and inside the resource group, I have a prediction training services. And it's a custom vision stuff. The second thing I need to do is I need to upload images and tell for every single image, I need to create a tag. So you can see the code here. You can go through the code later today, but the idea is very easy. The tag is the name of folder with the pictures. So if I go back here, so I have some pictures. So CD. Pika Pika, for example, and I have a lot of pictures here. So the name of the folder is the name of the bird in Latin, so it will be my tag. So the way, it's very easy. I just go through the folders and I upload all images. You will see this is quite quick. So let's try it. Python. And I need to run 01. Python CV01 Python script, and it uploads the images into the system. I am showing everything to you using the code. Then I will show it because it's much faster, because our session is very short. You will see everything doing by using the code. But when we will train the model, because to train the model, it takes approximately 9 minutes. During those 9 minutes, I will show you some user interface, how you can do everything, manually. I'll just check if there are some questions. Not so. There are no questions. I can switch off the camera for better experience. So now all my images are uploaded into the system. So now I can run the training. The training will take some time, and the training is easy. I just take some keys. You see, I need to get the keys. It's about the security, and then I wait for training. It will take some time. So what we can do now? So as you can see here, I created two resources. One is for training, one is for prediction. And I create those resources using the PowerShell script. Of course, you can do it manually. It's up to you. If you go here, you can see some information, which is not so important now. But important for us is this Custom Vision portal. The Custom Vision portal is a user interface for you. You can see I have already a project which is called Garden Birds. And this is the project I did with my PowerShell script. So you can see if I go to my PowerShell script, and here we can go. So it was, sorry, I did it with, of course, with Python script. And you can see the garden birds here. So this is here. If I go here, you can see a lot of birds, and I can say, okay, I just want to see Parus major. No idea how to say it in your language. Check, is it Sikora? And there's another one. It's a sparrow, very favorite bird here in Czech Republic, and so on. So everything you can see here, you can do by code, or you can do it manually. So if I go here, if I go back here, I can click, of course, new project, and here you choose if you create the classification or object detection. So if I create the object detection, and I add some image, let's do some, let's say this one. You need to say, okay, here it's a mayo, it's mayonnaise. Now I have fries here. Now it's, you can see it's a fish and chip I cooked. And this one is mashed. No idea how to say it in English properly. So you can see that I need to tell what is on the picture and where. Of course, what you can do, you can prepare a set of images, and for each image you can have a JSON file telling what is where on the image. So this is the difference between the between the classification and object detection. Let's look what's going on here. It's still running, so if you have some questions, we have some time for the questions before everything is finished. you can see it. You can see that it's a really easy way how to, do everything. The most important part is that you need to prepare the right images. So if I jump here back, you can see that the bird here is really small and very dark. If I choose another image, if I look, you can look here. So let's say this one, it's a perfect image of the bird. And if you will have only those super perfect images, the system will be, it's called that the system is overtrained. So it will not be able to recognize, for example, the birds like this one, because there is too much things around. There are too much branches because the bird is sitting on the branches. There are too much branches around. So the most complicated thing here is to have, let's say, the right set of the images. So it's really not so bad idea to get some images which are really, really not perfect. So you can see the bird here is just super, super small, and there's a lot of stuff around. Because if you will have only those, let's say, perfect images, the system will not work in the right way. Another thing you need to have some set of the images just for testing. So you need to have the set of the images where you test. You will use it for testing, not for training. So every time, and it really doesn't matter if you speak about the custom vision or anything else, all the time you have the set of the data for training, and then you have a separate test of data for testing. You cannot use the data for testing the same as you used for the training, because then of course it will work, because if you use something for training and for the testing, it will match all the time. So let's look here. Okay, so you can see my model is ready, and I can see it in my you can see it in my system here. So you can see that I have the iteration. So this is the thing what I did. So I have model here. I can do some quick test. So I can take some really custom image. I take let's say the cat here. And it will probably tell me that there is no bird, or it's expected. Okay, so maybe my cat looks like for 49% as some bird, but you can see that the probability is extremely low here. Okay. So now what you need to do, you need to publish. So imagine that we did it, we tested, and we are happy. So now I need to okay, never mind. There's some issue in my code. I can jump here and I can publish it manually. So I publish it. And this is here you can see for publishing, you need a different service. So one service is for training, one service is for prediction. So I publish it. And now you get this prediction URL. And this is the end of your REST API endpoint. And then you need to set some headers here. Okay. So, and this is the endpoint you use for your application. This is the endpoint you will use in your mobile application or whatever, you know, for detecting the objects on images or classify the image. So it means the classification is, you know, what is on image. The object detection means what and where is it on the image. So you can have more things on one image. But the classification puts your image in one class. Object detection can detect more objects on different places in one image. So I try if everything, let's try some testing here. Sorry, there is some issue in my code. I will check it later today, what I did wrong in my code. But by end of this session, you can see that you know, create the custom vision model is quite easy. The only thing you need to do, or only thing, the first at all, you need to prepare your data. Then you need to prepare your resources in Azure. You need to upload the data and say what is it. Then you need to train the model, test model, publish model, use the model. And you can achieve it in quite short time. The most hard here is to prepare the data. This is the most consuming part. You need to prepare the data. And if you don't want to have super great data, because if the data are really, really good, it will not work for the data which are, let's say, not so good. Okay, this is the end of my presentation, and we have place for the questions. And the first question is, what is the optimal number of images that we have to upload for classification? It's hard to say. It's really hard to say, but the minimum, if we need to check this documentation, but there is some minimum amount of the images. I think it's like a 15, but of course, more images you have, in theory you will get the better results. But I think the minimum is something like 15. There are some more limitations. The maximum size for the image for training is 6 megabytes. The maximum size of the image for prediction, so the one you want to check, is 4 megabytes. Can we say that the face detection is object detection, face recognition is classification? Okay, so if you want to use the face detection, there is a total different service. Because the face detection is much more complex, in face detection works a different way than the, let's say, common image detection or object detection on the image. Because in face detection, I start my camera. Because in face detection, the system is looking for significant points on your face, like eyes, where is the beginning of the nose, end of the nose, you know, try to put the camera this way, okay, it will be better. So where is your mouth? You know, it detects the points on the face. It doesn't detect a face as a picture, but it detects the points of the face. So it's a different service. So if you need to work with faces, you want to detect the persons on the image, you need to use different service. For example, with the face detection, it can tell you if the people is looking left or right, up and down. It can detect, it can try to check the gender, for example, the age of the person, the mood of the person. So the face detection is, let's say, a subset of the vision, but it's a total separate, it's a really separate discipline. in working with the images. Okay, another question. I hope I answered Branislav questions. So maybe I have a question for you. Is someone of you already tried to use some custom vision, for some project, or just you are thinking, to use it? Because my previous role in Microsoft, now I am a technical trainer. So my role is to train people to use Microsoft Azure. But before this, I worked in IoT team. And in IoT, especially in manufacturing, the custom vision is quite important. Is quite important thing because you can detect some defects on your production, on your products. And the question here is, can we use video too instead of images? Yes. So almost everything I showed you now, you can do with the video. And it means so you can get, this is what we use on some projects in industry. You have the video stream from the production line, and you are looking for defects on your products almost in real time. Because of course, there can be some problems. You need to upload the video stream to the cloud, and then you get the results. On other hand, you can, if I jump back here, I create a new project. You can see here, you have the general compact. You see here, the compact mean that you can create the model, that the outcome of the model is super small, and you can pack it and deploy it directly on your device. So you don't need to send data into the cloud and back, but you can work with those models directly on your device. So for example, in manufacturing, the common scenario is that I am detecting, for example, the defects of my product on production line directly on device which is next to the production line. So you don't need to wait for data to be processed in the cloud, first of all, and second, it can work without internet connectivity, which is especially in manufacturing. Very, very important. Does this service support for image augmentation? I'm not sure what is on your mind here. Give me a sec. If you have a lot of images. Okay, so now I got it. This can be issue because you need to have some, critical set of, data to be able to train the model. So for this, I think it will be probably case by case. So in some cases, the lack of the images will be okay, because just few images will be enough to train the model. In some cases, it will not work. So I cannot answer it. There is yes or no answer here. Okay, some more questions? And of course, do not forget that everything I showed you today, you can achieve by clicking in some portal, or you can achieve it just writing the Python, .NET, JavaScript, PowerShell code. Okay.
Okay.
Is there no questions? Is it possible to take GTIN from picture from Procture? Barcode. I didn't try it, but we have at least the one of the custom vision service is text recognition. So at least you can read the code below, you can read the numbers below the barcode. It will definitely work. But there is, as I know, we do not have any special service for working with the barcodes. But what you can do, you can detect the barcode, then extract the barcode and send to another service to get the results. But definitely you can read what is below the barcode. It's possible because we have a quite good, there is a very good OCR service, which is part of the vision. So you can extract the text from the images, and the text can be printed, the text can be handwritten, and only imitations which is the angle of the text. So I think the maximum angle of the text can be 45 degrees, something like this. We need to, I need to check documentation, but maybe you can replace the barcode reading with the OCR functionality. Okay, so if there are no questions, we can start the break probably. Okay, can this be used and implementing in restricting some images to be shown like hate speech, symbols, violence? Yes, again, it's a special service for this. And the name of the service is, give me a sec, it's a content moderator. If I go here, so this is this one, content moderator. And this one we have for images, and this one we have for text analysis too. So of course the main one here is the majority of the this one is around porn, nudity, and stuff like that. But we have this kind of the functionality to analyze the text image, especially the hate speech, the racism, and this inappropriate stuff.
Okay, I think that we had a very successful session. Thank you, Štěpán. If you have any further question for Štěpán, feel free to post the questions here. We will maintain the thread, and I want to emphasize that there is a survey. I'm pasting the information here, where you can provide feedback on the event, and also participate in a contest. We will decide the winners at the end of the event, and feel free to visit this link, or let me give you another way. You can scan the QR code, fill the survey, and have in mind that you have to conclude the survey before tomorrow at the end of the day. Thank you, everyone. Thank you again, Štěpán. We will continue after a short break at 2:15. And thanks everyone, and see you in a minute.
Have a nice day, and it was a pleasure to speak on Synergia.